Alright, today in class we looked again at how to graph quadratics. Yesterday's lesson was pretty quick, pretty short, so today I want to spend a little more time. What are the steps if we want to graph quadratic? What do we want to know about the graph? What all do we need to do to be able to graph it correctly? So here's the idea. When we're graphing quadratics, we want a few things about that quadratic. Here, if I just sketch real quick what a parabola looks like, it's going to look something like that. The things that I want to know about that, I want to know what's the vertex, I want to know what's the y-intercept, and I want to know the x-intercepts. Along with the vertex, I want to know the axis of symmetry, because if I know that, then I can graph on both sides of that and make it easy. So I'm going to make sure I find all those things, and if I find all those things, then it should be easy to graph any quadratic. So here's one off your homework, this is number 4, where you have to graph. I want you to graph this quadratic. So first thing I want you to find is find the y-intercept. The y-intercept, we're going to plug in 0 for x, which just means y equals 0 squared minus 6 times 0 plus 5, which means we have a y-intercept of 5. And if I write that as an ordered pair, it's the ordered pair of 0 for x, 5 for y. So I have a y-intercept. I want x-intercepts. So to get x-intercepts, you plug in 0 for y. 0 equals x squared minus 6x plus 5. Okay, if I want the x-intercepts now, I can factor this, x minus 5, x plus 1, and solve that, x equals 5, x equals negative 1. Those are my x-intercepts. I have an x-intercept to x equals 5, I have an x-intercept to x equals negative 1. If I wrote those as ordered pairs, 5, 0, and negative 1, 0, those are x-intercepts. That's where I cross the y-axis, that's where I cross the x-axis. Other things I care about the vertex. I can find out the x-coordinate of the vertex by doing negative b over 2a. In this case, that's going to give me negative 6 over 2 times 1, which is 3. And if I plug in 3, because that's just the x-coordinate of the vertex, to find the y-coordinate I'm going to plug it in. So I'm going to go 3 squared minus 6 times 3 plus 5, 9 minus 18 plus 5. 9 minus 18 is negative 9 plus 5 is negative 4. So I have a vertex of negative 4. I also know since the vertex is at 3 that I have the axis of symmetry at x equals 3. The axis of symmetry is always the same as the vertex, the x-coordinate of the vertex. Okay, if you want to graph this then, it wouldn't be too bad. Make ourselves a little graph. You have graph paper at your disposal, so yours should be looking better than mine does. I'm just going to quick sketch this, the things that we need to have on here. So, as we start graphing, I have y-intercept of 0, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have x-intercepts of 5, 0, and negative 1, 0. I have a vertex at 3, negative 4. Hold on. Let's go back to this problem. Negative 5, negative 1. Oh, I'm sorry. I factored this wrong. It's negative 5 and x minus 5 and x minus 1. So that's positive 1. Scratch that for just a second. That should be a positive 1. This is a positive 1. I was going to go, this about to not make sense, but I knew we'd done it right. So we have x-intercepts at here and here at 1, 0, and 5, 0. I have a vertex at 3, negative 4, and I have a y-intercept at 0, 5. This also means that my axis of symmetry is going to come right through there. So, and these are equidistant on either side. I have that point, I have this point. Because this is my y-intercept, that says there should be another one over there. And so I can come around and do that on this side too. And there's my parabola graphed. I know it doesn't look very good, but you have scratch paper and you can spend your time making it look nice. Make sure that you factor correctly so that things work out right the first time. And that's how we're going to graph. So, steps for graphing: y-intercept, x-intercepts, vertex, axis of symmetry. If you need more points, if you're not satisfied with that, either use the axis of symmetry to get more points, or you can make a table. The other thing we talked about today is we talked about the discriminant and what the discriminant tells us. the discriminant, from the quadratic form, the discriminant, which is just the b squared minus 4ac, this tells us how many solutions we have. So, which in this case solutions are the same thing as x-intercepts. So it tells us how many x-intercepts we have. So the discriminant is positive. If b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0, we have 2 x-intercepts. If b squared minus 4ac equals 0, we have 1 x-intercept. And if b squared minus 4ac is less than 0, it's negative, then you have no x-intercepts. It's okay, you still have a graph, it just doesn't cross the x-axis, and that's fine. You have, most of your homework looks like that. In fact, you only have to graph 5 of the problems, but you have to tell me how many solutions in the other, well, basically in all 21. So let's do a few and see how many solutions we're going to have. Let's look at, we'll start on number 8. 8 says y equals 6x squared plus x minus 2. How many solutions do I have? Do the discriminant. B squared minus 4 times a times c. That's 1 squared minus 48. 1 squared minus negative 48, I'm sorry, which is plus 48. So you get 49. That's positive, you have 2 solutions. And you can figure out what those are. If I looked at number 11, y equals 3x squared minus 2x plus 8. Do the discriminant. 2 squared minus 4 times 3 times 8. That's 4 minus 96, which is negative 92. It's negative, so there's no solutions. We can try a few more of these. We can try something like 14. 14 says x squared minus 6x plus 9 equals 0. How many solutions am I going to have to this? Negative 6 squared minus 4 times 1 times 9. 36 minus 36 is 0. So if that's 0, then we have 1 solution, 1 x-intercept. We can keep trying these. How about try 17? It's x squared plus x equals 0. Check the discriminant. Negative b, or b squared, 1 squared minus 4 times 1 times 0, which is c. So you get 1 squared, which is 1. It's positive. This is greater than 0, so there's 2 solutions. How about 20? X squared plus 2x plus 1 equals 0. B squared, 2 squared minus 4 times 1 times 1. 4 minus 4 is 0. That's the discriminant. If the discriminant is 0, you have 1 solution. And you can figure out the rest that way. Just do b squared minus 4ac. You don't know how many solutions? B squared minus 4ac. B squared minus 4ac. B squared minus 4ac. This is called the discriminant.